Hello everyone, in this video we are discussing diabetes in pregnancy in context of congenital malformations that are present in diabetes in pregnancy. This video will only concentrate on the malformations and congenital anomalies associated with diabetes. Now we all know that the organogenesis of the fetus occurs at less than 20, up to 12 weeks. So during those 12 weeks of organogenesis, if the glucose is more or if the glycemic control is not there, then increased glucose will cause free radicals, and this free radical damage DNA and cell division. So that is going on during this organogenesis. DNA and cell division is rapidly and very high amount going on during the organogenesis. So slight amount of increase in free radicals can lead to defective organogenesis. So various systems involved or affected by this uncontrolled diabetes during first trimester of pregnancy. The first one and the most commonly affected system is cardiovascular system. Then comes to CNS, neural system, and then comes to skeletal system, renal system, and GIT, gastrointestinal system. Now, if we concentrate on CVS, the most common problems occurs for CVS are septal defects. This ventricular septal defect is the most common among them. Then comes to the atrial septal defect, transapposition of great arteries, coarctation of aorta. In babies, HOCM can be seen, that is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Second system comes to the CNS. CNS we got most commonly NTD, matlab neural tube defect, meningocele encephalopathy. Then comes to the skeletal system, caudal regression, sacral degenesis are the most commonly affected problems. Renal system, we can have renal agenesis, cystic kidneys. For gastrointestinal system, we have duodenal atresia, anal atresia, rectal atresia kind of problems. Now, how we decide the risk of having anomaly in case of diabetes in pregnancy? So this risk is directly proportional or directly dependent on overall control of glucose. So we have the test HbA1c. This test actually shows 3 months of glucose control. So we use this parameter as risk criteria. For example, if HbA1c is less than 6.5%, then there is a very low or at all no risk. If the values comes to 6.5 to 8.5%, the risk of congenital anomaly increases to 5%, and if it is more than 10%, the risk is 22%. So this is the risk ratio. Now, how to decrease the congenital anomaly risk? For example, we need very strict glycemic control in first trimester with insulin. Oral hypoglycemic drug can help, but the first line therapy should be always insulin, that is should be rapid acting or intermediate acting. We need strict glucose control. Then the folic acid therapeutic dose 4 mg per day, 1 month before conception, 3 up to 3 months after conception, 4 mg per day. Screening, how we do a screening? It's always easy. I have already a video on that. In first trimester, you have to go for HbA1c. That will decide how much glycemic control will be there. Then at 11 to 13 weeks, we should do knuckle translucency. At 18 to 20 weeks, we should go for target scan for any anomaly. Meanwhile, the other screening tests for anomalies are beta HCG, PAPPA, estrogen inhibin. This all we can do. NIPT, that is non-invasive preconceptional pre-diagnostic. So NIPT measures the free fetal DNA, and this free fetal DNA in mother serum is extracted and tested. Fetal echo should be done for any cardiomyopathy problems in fetus. We should do a fetal echo after 20 weeks or 20 to 24 weeks. So this is the real problem with diabetic in pregnancy with congenital malformations. Thank you.